Welcome everybody to my June weather forecast for 2023. This video will focus on my temperature, precipitation, severe weather, and overall forecasts for the month of June. To start off this video, let's take a look at my temperature forecast. I'm forecasting above normal temperatures over the majority of the United States, excluding the Southwest. I have greater confidence in those above average temperatures across parts of the northern U.S. and the South. One of those areas extends from Washington State and Oregon into the northern plains and Midwest, and the other from the Southwest through the Gulf Coast. The greatest chance for above normal temperatures looks to be over the northwestern region of the country. As far as cooler than normal temperatures go, it's looking possible across the southwestern portion of the country, including California, Nevada, and portions of surrounding states. Moving on to my precipitation forecast, I'm leaning towards above normal precipitation across a large portion of the west down through the southern United States. Model guidance has been very insistent with a very active weather pattern through this area, leading to possibly more precipitation than usual for some areas. I have highlighted a couple regions where I have more confidence in wetter than usual weather. One of those areas is over the interior northwest down into parts of California and as far south as the southern plains. We have seen a very active weather pattern throughout that region over the past couple of weeks, and I think that will continue through at least the first half of June. The other area of wetter than normal conditions looks likely in Florida and portions of southern Georgia and Alabama. The weather pattern looks to be very stormy and wet as we go forward throughout the month of June. Regarding drier than normal weather, I'm thinking that places like western Washington and Oregon will stay at least slightly drier than normal for the month of June. For the Midwest, Great Lakes, and Ohio Valley, I think it'll be a little bit different with drier than normal weather for the first half of June before becoming a bit more active. For the area on the gold color, that's where I think the probability of drier weather is a bit higher. As an example, take a look at this photo from a town in Ohio a few days ago. It's already been very dry up there this May, and unfortunately that looks to continue for a little while longer as we enter June. There is good news though, which I will talk about further in just a moment. And now for the severe weather forecast. If you recall, this is my severe weather forecast for June, July, and August, which I presented in my overall summer forecast about a week ago. I highlighted the Dakotas down through the Great Lakes and Ohio Valley under the red shade, which is where I anticipate the primary severe weather threat zone over the summer months. And this is what I'm forecasting for the month of June alone. For areas in yellow, the overall severe weather potential looks to stay isolated. This definitely doesn't mean there won't be any severe weather or even periods of higher activity. It just means that the overall risk will be more isolated. The orange shade is the medium risk area, which is where I expect a higher density of severe weather events to occur. That region covers the high plains and then down through the Midwest, Great Lakes, and Mid-Atlantic. I also highlighted Florida in the medium severe weather risk area, and that's mostly because of how active the severe thunderstorm activity looks in the coming weeks. Lastly, we have that red area over the severe weather highway zone. That may be confusing for some because I did highlight that region under drier than normal on my precipitation outlook. But remember, that's mostly for the first half of June. As we get closer to the official start of summer in mid to late June, I'm seeing a significant pattern flip, which looks to be much more favorable for precipitation and perhaps some severe weather events. With all that in mind, let's move on to the final part of the video, my overall outlook for June. I'm expecting a very dry June with very little rainfall, along with warm temperatures for places like Western Oregon and Washington State. On the contrary, it looks like persistent cooler weather looks to hang around the southwestern region of the country as we head into June. This may include some rainy periods for some areas, even for places that don't typically see rainfall this time of the year. For the northwest and northern high plains, I'm thinking that an overall stormy pattern will continue for June with mild and warm temperatures. This could help mitigate the wildfire risk for the first half of the summer before the risk of fires increases later in the summer. For the southern plains, I think we will see that active severe weather pattern continue for at least the first week or two of June before things start to dry out. Then across the upper Midwest, Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, and Northeast, you can expect a dry and warm start to the month before an increasingly active and stormy pattern starts to take grip further into the month. For the Mid-South and the Southeast, mainly a close to average summer pattern looks to develop with scattered thunderstorms and increasing heat for the month of June. For Florida, above average rainfall and some severe weather looks to be the highlight of the month. Lastly, across the Northeast, I'm expecting the weather to be very back and forth. And what this means is that there'll be periods of warmer weather before cooling down and then warming back up again. The same goes for precipitation, with some wetter periods and drier periods in other parts of the month. And that will conclude my June weather forecast. If you enjoyed this video and you are interested in seeing more from this channel, please consider subscribing. You can also leave a comment down below if you have any questions, and let me know if you agree with this forecast. Thank you, and see you on the next one.